This woman remained unidentified for over half a century. On January 23, 1971, 3 hunters discovered a woman's body in the middle of nowhere in the Arizona desert. She remained unidentified, and the case became cold. However, recent technological advancements, the efforts of investigators, and crowdfunding finally led to the discovery of her name after 52 long years. She is Colleen Audrey Rice. Before we begin, we would like to extend our condolences to the family and relatives of Colleen Audrey Rice. Though she has been gone for a long time, she's never forgotten. On January 23, 1971, the remote and desolate landscape of Mohave County became the spot of an unsettling discovery that haunted the sheriff's department for decades. A small group of hunters was looking for game in a remote desert area when they suddenly found an unusual canvas sack 2 miles from the US 93 highway near Kingman, Arizona. It was loosely tied at the top with a white cotton rope, seemingly discarded and abandoned as it laid beside a dirt road. Upon closer inspection, the sack bore the words, "Deer Pack Ames Harris Neville Co." It was printed on the side in green. The hunters, feeling curious, decided to check what was inside the sack. They were met by a horrifying sight that would become the center of a case spanning half a century. It was a woman's dismembered body. Immediately, the 3 hunters called the police, who sealed off the area to investigate the disturbing crime. Based on the initial details concerning the woman's death, like how her dismembered limbs were stuffed inside and her body was thrown unceremoniously in a remote desert area, the investigators concluded that they were dealing with a homicide. They found that the woman was wearing a size 14 multicolored blouse, a black long-sleeve cardigan sweater, and burnt orange stretch pants that had a label inside that read, "Symphony, it's what's happening," indicating a size 12. She wore black leather ankle boots, but no jewelry. The police then scoured the area for a purse or other belongings that might indicate her identity. However, they came up empty-handed. To make matters more difficult, the woman's body was too decomposed to be identified by sight. Hence, the investigators sent her remains to the Mohave County Coroner's Office for a post-mortem. If you like what you're seeing so far, please like the video, click subscribe, and turn on notifications by activating the bell. It really helps us in making these videos. She was estimated to be between 35 and 40 years old, stood at 5 feet 4 inches, and weighed 125 to 140 pounds. Her hair was curly, dark brown with a few gray strands. She had a long scar on her stomach, indicating she had a cesarean birth. The investigators struggled to determine the cause of the woman's death. They initially marked it as unknown, as her body displayed no evidence of gunshot wounds, and her skull lacked any signs of blunt force trauma. A closer examination of her organs revealed they were all in good condition, ruling out the likelihood that she died from an illness. However, a pathologist who studied her body concluded she might have worn a wedding ring and found signs that she could have had 3 children. The woman showed signs of stylish appearance and likely didn't smoke as indicated by her neatly manicured fingernails. It was suggested that the victim was a married woman, potentially murdered by her spouse. This hypothesis was considered. It is statistically indicated that women are victims of partner homicides in majority of the cases. Due to the nature of the crime, the investigators changed the cause of death to strangulation. Still, before they could identify her murderer, they had to know her identity first. And from then on, the investigators knew it would be an uphill battle. They noted that when the woman's body was found, it was partially frozen from the previous winter. This indicated that she may have been killed in December, perhaps near the end of bow hunting season. Additionally, the bag was thought to be a deer hunting sack. This prompted investigators to scour through over 5,000 licenses issued to archers that season. with every married Bowman to show the authorities his wife for questioning. Hotels, motels, and stores catering to upper and middle class people were also checked out. The investigators then searched through missing person reports in the Arizona, California, Nevada, and Utah regions, examining the ones filed before and after the murder to find any possible connections to the victim. Through the extensive search, the investigators could locate 23 previously reported missing women. However, all of them were found alive, and obviously none was the woman in question. The authorities then mailed her physical descriptions to 800 law enforcement agencies in the United States and Canada. Her fingerprints were sent to the FBI in Washington. Furthermore, the details of her expensive dentistry, including 2 missing molars and a $500 microband bridge, were reported in dental magazines and checked against 8,000 patient files in one Phoenix lab alone. Based on her skull, authorities also reached out to an artist who sketched what she could have looked like at the time of her body's discovery. The sketch was circulated in newspapers all over Arizona. Unfortunately, despite the efforts of the Mojave County Sheriff's Department, the woman's identity remained a mystery. It seemed like she would be stuck with the name Jane Doe forever. Because there was the possibility that she had children, investigators entertained the idea that somehow, somewhere, her children would find and claim her. It was just a matter of time. And maybe then they could at least give the murdered woman a name. But nobody, no relatives, children, husband, or even friends came forward to identify her. Jane Doe was buried in a county cemetery without a headstone. The police created a basic obituary for her using a mimeograph machine, a low-cost printing method for creating document copies. It was printed on pink bulletin sheets and contained minimal information. Name unknown. Date of birth unknown. Place of birth unknown. The tragic murder of the woman was left unsolved, with her identity still remaining a mystery. The case gathered dust on the shelves of the Mojave County Sheriff's Department. As 2020 emerged, a new glimpse of hope appeared. The determination of a certain investigator, combined with the collaborative efforts of the public, would play a crucial role in finally uncovering the truth behind the woman's mysterious identity. In 2019, Lori Miller, a retired LAPD officer, decided to join the investigation of a cold case assembled by the Mojave County Sheriff's Department. Soon after, she realized she had very few details to work with. Firstly, she scoured through the fingerprint tests when the body was first discovered, but these were all inconclusive. She then decided to run them through a modern database, but found nothing. Eventually, Lori's team decided to try their luck with her dental records, but to no avail. Experiencing dead end after dead end over the years, Lori and her team were beginning to exhaust all their options. All but one: genome sequencing. Genome sequencing involves constructing a genetic profile of an unidentified individual using DNA obtained from their remains. This profile is cross-referenced with a public genealogical database to identify potential matches. By narrowing the search to a specific family tree, researchers can request additional DNA tests from family members to verify a match conclusively. In May 2022, Lori contacted Othram, a Texas-based forensic laboratory specializing in this method. It seemed as though the solution was on the horizon. The only problem was the process of genome sequencing was expensive, as it was still an emerging technology that had only recently been recognized. The Mojave County Sheriff's Department couldn't afford the $7,500 bill for the company's services. Luckily, Othram ran a website that crowdfunded investigations proposed by authorities. Lori had found her answer. the Mojave County Sheriff's Department paid $1,000 and requested another $6,500 from the public in the hopes that they could finally solve this half-a-century mystery. Within only 5 days, the funding was completed. In late 2022, the testing began. Eventually, they found a man believed to be a distant relative of the woman who provided a yearbook photo of her. There was a strong resemblance to the sketch drawn over 50 years ago, and on January 23, 2023, the same date her body was found, DNA results confirmed her identity. Her name was Colleen Audrey Rice. She was born March 17, 1931, and was a Portsmouth, Ohio native. She was the daughter of James C. Rice and Flossie Truitt. She went to Portsmouth High School. In 1946, she married William Davis. Unfortunately, Colleen was estranged from her family, so very little is known about her life and how she ended up in Arizona. Furthermore, no records of her children were found. While her murder may still be far from being solved, it's a massive step forward in the right direction. The headstone for Jane Doe can now be replaced with Colleen Audrey Rice. Thanks to Lori and her team, the people that donated in the crowdfunding, and the rising technology of genome sequencing, Colleen was finally identified. The investigation into Colleen's life continues. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications by activating the bell icon. By doing so, you'll never miss out on new content, and it really helps us make these videos. So, like, subscribe, and activate the bell. We appreciate your support.